Poopies, what have you read this month? What was your favorite book? Do you not have a favorite book? Oh, Ellen Hildebrand. Yeah, she's good. She's a great summer author. Hi, handsome boy. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. I mean, I only have one video posted, so I'm sure y'all are all new. I haven't filmed in probably a month. I think it's been like a solid month since I've filmed anything. Lots of life changes going on, starting a new job, wedding planning, trying to get my life together. I am going to talk about all the books that I read in June. Grab your tea or your coffee or your wine, whatever it is. I have my coffee right here. And let's get started. Let's talk about the books I read. Actually, let's go over my TBR. So my first video I posted was TBR Jar Picks my June reads. So let's go over the TBR, see how good I did. I did pretty average, but I'm honestly pretty proud of myself because this is the first month I've ever set a TBR with like set books on it, and I am the biggest mood reader in the world, so I'm honestly pretty proud of myself for even getting a few of these down. I read 3 books off my TBR and I'm currently in the middle of 2. Honestly really proud of myself. There's only one that I didn't even get to at all. Anyways, the first book I read in June was House of Salt and Sorrows by Erin A. Craig, and I've been wanting to read this one for a hot minute. I had a very good time with this. This is a YA gothic fantasy, and it's actually pretty dark. This is a 12 Dancing Sisters retelling, 12 Dancing Princesses retelling. I really can't talk. I don't know what it is about me and filming, and I just lose the capability to speak. This gives very ghosty vibes, and I think a good way to describe this, like what I was picturing while I was reading this, was like the Unfortunate series, Fortunate Events. Oh my gosh, what is that name? Fortunate Events of Lemony's, the Unfortunate Events of a series of unfortunate events. Oh my gosh, I could not get that out. The vibes reminded me of a series of unfortunate events. Like if you've ever seen that movie with Jim Carrey, right? If you've ever seen that movie, same vibe. Very immersive, very atmospheric, and full of twists and turns. But it is kind of gory. Like there's some stuff in here where I was like, ew. She does a great job with her descriptions and her writing, and some of these sentences in here were just a little bit of romance, and I thought it was really good. It's not too insta-lovey for YA. You know, sometimes YA books, if it's not a series, it can be just extremely insta-lovey, so I didn't find that with this, and I thought this was a trilogy, and it's actually like this story is complete. So like this sister's story is complete, and the next book, House of Roots and Ruin, which I really want to read, is a different sister's story. So it's not like a series, like a trilogy, but it's like different sisters. I really enjoyed this. I gave this 4 stars. The next book I read this month was a huge surprise to me. It is Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan, or Monaghan, I don't know how you say it, but this book, I was not expecting to love this book as much as I did. I read her book. I haven't read Nora Goes Off Script, but I've read, oh my gosh, Same Time Next Summer. I read that last year, and it wasn't my favorite. I really did not enjoy that. So I was nervous that I wasn't going to love this one, but I had to read it because, like, look at this. Like, look at this cover. Look at the vibes. Like, I gave this 4.5 stars at first, and then the more I thought about it and the more quotes I read from it, and then I watched Destiny's video, and she loved this book, and how she felt about it was how I feel about it. And so I was like, okay, this is going up to 5 stars. I I don't even know where to start about this book. This book is about Allie, who is a mom of 3 kids, grieving her mother that died 2 years ago, and then her husband just left her. Like, they just went through a divorce, or they're going through a divorce, but he's been gone for a while. And it's really her story of trying to find herself again, trying to live through grief, trying to, grieving her mother, grieving her marriage, trying to find herself and give herself life again. And she meets a guy and they spark a little summer romance, and she's like, oh, this is fine. Like, it's just a little bit of summer romance, and her best friend's trying to get her out there. Little does she know, this is way more than just a summer romance, and this book was way more than just a fun summer rom-com. The quotes in this book, the grief in this book, if you've ever lost somebody and you relate to grief, wow. I know I have stuff highlighted in here. Where are they? Okay, listen to this description. As I walk into my house, there's a knowing coming in me all at once, and I don't really want to take it in. This is not going to be a light-hearted summer romance where we ride bikes with ice cream cones in our hands. It's going to be the kind where the waves crash over us as we feverishly make love on the sand. It has a different soundtrack, but it ends the same. There's a quote in here about a dog, and it was like, she has a dog and the love interest has a dog, and she's like, falling in love is kind of like having a dog. Like, you are going to like break your own heart, because when you buy a dog or get a dog, you know that they're not going to be here forever, and you willingly love them anyways. Like, you willingly put yourself through that heartbreak anyways. And just that about a dog, like any pet. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna start crying. I can't think about that, but that was just like, when I loved the relationship with her kids that she had. I think the kids were written really well. Like, they were very realistic, and they weren't annoying, but they weren't like perfect either. Like, they weren't like unrealistic. I don't know. I can't explain it. I liked how she wrote the kids. The guy in this book, love. Amazing. Love this. Please read it. Read it right now. The next book I read this month was How to Plot a Playback. How to Plot a Payback by Melissa Ferguson. This is a rom-com, but it's like a clean romance. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. It has a blurb from Annabelle Monaghan. All her books are like clean romances. Like, there's no cursing, there's no spice, like there's nothing like that. And so I kind of went into this a little hesitant, just because, okay, hear me out, just because with adult books these days, like, there's always like some cuss words, and there's always some, like physical scenes. Like, it doesn't have to be all the time, but I feel like every adult book these days has something like that. And so I was a little nervous about how this was going to read, but I really enjoy Melissa's writing. I think her writing is fantastic. She writes in a way where it's like, she describes, I don't know, like I don't really know how to explain it. The characters in this are funny, and it's a little like over dramatized, like it's kind of being like a little dramatic, but it's funny and it worked. It wasn't my favorite though. I mean, the love story is kind of just okay. I didn't really feel the passion between these two like I thought I would. Finn, the main guy in here, kind of holds some silly grudges, if I'm like, just some silly grudges. I'm like, are we really still mad about that happened in 2nd grade? Really? I thought the chemistry was kind of lackluster. It was kind of just like, meh. It was okay. I gave this 3 stars, so I really do want to check out more of her books. Like, there's one about love in the margins or something. Definitely want to read that one. That one sounds really good. Next book, you guys. I was not prepared. I was not prepared for how much I was going to love this book. It is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. Oh my gosh, I get it. I understand. I understand why everybody is obsessed with this book and why everybody rated this 5 stars. I don't even know where to begin. I really don't. My relationship with Abby Jimenez, with her books. I've read Part of Your World and Yours Truly. I think I DNF Part of Your World like almost to the end. I just wasn't feeling it. I did not enjoy it. I thought it was cheesy. I did not enjoy the writing at all. Then I read Yours Truly because I've heard really great things about Yours Truly, and I think I gave that one 4 stars. Like, I did enjoy it, but the main girl, like the female in that book, Bree, oh my gosh, she got on my nerves. So when everybody was saying amazing things about this one, I was like, there's no way that I'm gonna love this, but I do want to read it. I do want to try. Like, I want to give her another chance. I know everybody's explained the premise. It's about Emma and Justin. Justin's also my fiance's name, so. It's about Emma and Justin, and they meet over Reddit, and they meet about how whenever they date somebody and they break up, that person finds their forever person. So I thought that premise was really silly. I was like, no. Abby said, girl, hold up. Before you say anything bad about my book, read it. This book has, it really explores relationships with mothers and complicated relationships with mothers, and actually both Justin and Emma. I'm getting a little personal here, but I have never read a book where it successfully like portrayed my feelings that I have or had with my relationship with my mom, my real mom. How Emma felt in this book was the first time that I read a book and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I am not a terrible person. I'm not the only person that feels this way about their own mother. That's one of the main reasons I love reading, is because you have, you make connections with these fictional characters, and yeah, it's fiction, and yeah, it's not real, but these feelings and experiences are real. Okay, this right here, maybe Maddie was right. Maybe I was aloof to a fault, except with Mom. With Mom, I felt everything all the time. I'm thinking that my mom takes a lot out of me, and that maybe she doesn't leave anything for anyone else. Takes so much energy in her mental and emotional capability to have a relationship with her mom and to even talk to her mom or do anything with her mother, that it takes out of her to have a relationship with anybody else. And so she really struggles with the avoidant and anxious attachment style when it comes to relationships. And I also related to that. Emma and me are the same person. She has a stuffed unicorn when she was a kid. I have a stuffed unicorn. I will go get it right now. Stuffed unicorn has lived my whole life with me. And the fact that she is a stuffed unicorn too, what in the world? I'm really exposing myself here. Really exposing myself. I have 2. I don't just have 1. I have 2 unicorns. Look how ratty and tatty and Maddie and crusty dusty these unicorns are. They have been with me since I was 4 years old. I'm really diving deep into my childhood here. This is Justin. This is the perspective of the male love interest. Amber is Emma's mom. It was obvious Amber was in some sort of meltdown. I knew I should probably look at her actions the way Emma did, with empathy and not anger, but I was angry anyway because I was pretty sure Amber didn't do anything to try and help herself. I think she allowed Emma to mitigate the damage, and I think she'd been doing that since Emma was little. If this had been her childhood, Emma never got to be a kid. She didn't even get to be a carefree adult. I'm just going to cry because I've never felt so seen. If I blocked her, it would feel like clocking out of a job that I'd been at with no breaks for the last 20 years. If I did it, it would not only keep her from calling, it would keep me from knowing if she didn't, and both things would protect my peace. And I hadn't felt peace in a really, really long time, but I couldn't. I couldn't leave her in the world with no one, even if she could do that to me. Let's talk about Justin. I think I'm just used to feeling like I'm asking too much when I need something. You're not asking too much, he said. You were just asking the wrong person. Ask me instead. He is a man written by a woman. If he wanted to, he would. That is the definition of Justin. I rated this 5 stars, 6 stars, infinity stars. I think I talked about that book for a solid 15 minutes. Calm down, Anna. Calm down. The next book I read, I've been wanting to read for a very long time. Talking at Night by Claire Daverly, I think is how you say it. I stalked her Instagram. People were describing this to me as if you love the movie Love, Rosie, and or the book Normal People and show Normal People, you will love this book. And that is very true. If you don't enjoy the way that Normal People was written, I don't think you would enjoy the way this was written, because both of them like don't have quotation marks. I don't understand that, but very literary. Oh, also One Day. If you like the book One Day or show One Day, read this. This is for you. This is about Rosie and Will. I think it spans over 10 years. I don't know. It starts with them meeting in high school and then their journeys from there. High school, college, post-college, adult life. Something happens when they are in high school that kind of ties them together forever. Something pretty traumatic, and they will forever like be bonded because of it. I love the way that Claire writes. Just listen to this writing. She found she could combat them both that way, the sleeplessness and the throttling of each day, by taking her pen and writing down the unsayable things. Things not made for music or human eyes. Things she can't believe she is thinking and feeling and somehow finding the words for. Ink spots on her sheets. When she writes, she cannot check things or grieve, cannot think of anything else. We can't, Rosie says, and her voice is strained, like water being wrung from a cloth. He lets it fall, all that she does not say, splashing at their feet. I can't. The characters are so real. They're not necessarily like super likable, but you get why they are the way they are, because it really goes deep into their stories. This has mental health representation, so it talks a lot about depression and OCD and like grief, and I thought she handled it beautifully. I loved this book. Highly recommend. I gave this 5 stars as well. The last book I read in June is actually The Unmaking of June Farrow, and I'm so proud of myself that I got to this book because I was very intimidated by it. This book was very good. The writing was insane. I mean, I'm a writing person. If the writing is not good, I will not enjoy the book. My review for The Unmaking of June Farrow on Goodreads says, I want Adrian's writing tattooed on my body, and she can write my wedding vows and my eulogy for my funeral one day. So this story follows June Farrow and kind of her life, or the Farrow women and her family. There's something different about them, and it follows her entering her journey with whatever's different about them. I'm trying to not spoil it. I was very confused for a majority of the book, but it wasn't too bad to where I was like so confused I couldn't enjoy it or follow it. I was following the story. But it's kind of one of those books where nothing comes together until the very end, where all the puzzles finally fit together. And even then, I kind of had to sit and like really think about it. And I don't think I'm selling this book very well. I highly recommend going into this book blind. Highly recommend, because it'll just hit so hard. There's a few loose ends that I think she could have explained better. So I gave this a 4.5. Still a very good rating, but it didn't give me the like 5-star feeling because there was one thing like that I didn't enjoy about it, so therefore 4.5 stars. That is it for this video. If you have any more book recs, well yeah, if you have book recs, please comment them in the comments, because obviously I need more books to read. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it to the end, bless you, amazing. Yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.